Hello world, welcome to the channel and welcome to our very first video. Today is a good day for me in that Sugai has just won his match in the Meijing League uh, in B1 class. So now he is officially promoted to the A class, which is the highest class you can go. I believe there are only about 7 or 8 players in the A class, and he's one of them. What makes this special is that he's a swinging rook player, and as somebody who plays a lot of swinging rook openings, I'm really thrilled that another swinging rook professional has made it to the A League. So let's hope all the best for him. Um, Here today we're going to cover a practice session between a level 4 professional and a level 3 semi-professional. It's not a swinging rook match, but I hope you enjoy what you will see. Also, since this is our very first video and we're still very much just uh, figuring things out as we go, let us know what you think about the video, whether it should be longer or shorter, more detailed, or maybe uh, be lighter on the detail, or any other suggestions or comments or even questions. Please let us know, and we will appreciate that and take that into account while producing future videos. So without further ado, this match opens with black pushing the pawn on 2-6, and white also pushes the rook file pawn to 8-4, so it's a mutual static rook opening. Pawn to 7-6, pawn to 8-5, and then bishop defends 7-7, pawn to 3-4, and then silver again defends 6-8. Gold to 3-2, gold to 7-8, bishop captures on 7-7, silver captures, and then silver to 2-2. So very standard opening for a bishop exchange. Um, by the way, in shogi, unlike chess, the opening moves uh, are are longer because each piece is relatively weak compared to chess. So we're going to have another dozen or so opening moves, but please bear with me. So from here, black pushes the silver to 3-8. And the other thing is, with bishop exchange, the opening moves are almost identical. So it could get a little bit dry. So let's just race through this. White moves silver to 7-2, uh, pawn to 4-6, pawn to 6-4, silver to 4-7, pawn to 7-4, king to 6-8, silver to 6-3, pawn to 3-6, king to 4-2, knight to 3-7, knight to 7-3, gold to 4-8, rook to 8-1, rook to 2-9, gold to 6-2, and then the edge pawns, and the formation is pretty much done. So this is actually one of the latest formations for a bishop exchange match, and if you look up professional title matches played in the last 2 years, let's say, um, most, if not all, bishop exchange openings end up pretty much exactly the same board. Sometimes black will push the pawn up to 2-5 and white will respond with silver to 3-3. But except for that minor difference, this is pretty much what most professionals play today. So from here, black advances the silver to 5-6. White uh, advances the silver to 3-3 as well. Pawn to 6-6. Silver to 5-4 and pawn to 2-5. So here, the next move by white was rook to 4-1. And this again, it looks like a very strange move, but actually it's quite a fashionable and popular move these days among professionals. Other possible moves can include something like a pawn push to 4-4. That's more traditional. Or you can choose for king to 5-2, which is basically just not allowing black to have any openings for an attack. But instead of those two options, white chooses rook to 4-1. And the benefit here is that the king can still go to 3-1 or 5-2. So white is basically just saying since black is going to attack from the fourth file anyway, might as well move the rook there first and then allow the king to decide later which way it wants to go. So of course black responds with 7-9, preparing for attack, and white pushes 4-4, again open invitation to start the battle. So black accepts the invitation and pushes 4-5, and then king to 5-2. So this was the move that white was looking forward to. So now the fourth file is clear, and black really needs to attack. So even if it doesn't want to attack, really, I mean, if you wait any longer, then you're just giving up a pawn for free. So that's why black captures on 4-4, silver captures, and then a pawn drop on 4-6. So this is to prevent the rook on white's side to have a direct targeting on the gold general on 4-8. So silver advances to 5-5, silver captures, and then a pawn push to 2-4, pawn captures, rook captures, pawn drop to 2-3, and then rook captures on 3-4. So this is kind of the first key moment in this match. White has several options for defending that gold general, but none of the options quite works. So one possibility is a pawn drop to 3-3. From here you might, well, of course, black has to retreat to 3-5, and then white can advance to 4-6, but then black can force a rook exchange with 4-5, rook captures, knight captures, and of course white gets to drop the rook first, and black gets to castle. However, after white captures the lands, the black's rook drop is much more powerful compared to what white can do. So this is kind of a typical progression where where white really isn't taking advantage of the way they constructed the formation. As you can see, the king is kind of just stuck in the middle, literally, with two gold generals on either side, and the defense is really weak. On the other hand, black really has the silver and gold and king in tight formation. This is clearly to black's advantage. Okay, so let's go back. So instead of defending on the 3-3 square, white opted for silver drop to 4-3, and the meaning here is that when black retreats to 3-5 and white advances to 4-6, black cannot force a rook exchange at this position. So of course black did have the option of going rook to 4-5, but then the silver will be exchanged with the knight, and then maybe a bishop drop on 2-8, and this seems to be quite a good game for white. So instead of that, black actually chose a stronger move, which is pawn drop on 4-4. So of course white can't capture this pawn because the gold general will be hanging, so white captures the rook on 3-5, and then black captures the silver general and rook captures back. Again, here a gold or king capture back would allow black to capture the second silver general and win material advantage, so it has to be a rook. This rook is eyeing the gold general on the square 4-8, so black cannot capture the silver on 3-5. So black instead drops the bishop on 3-4. So this is forking the rook and the king, so if the rook moves, then of course black will capture the king. So since the rook can't move, white decides to drop the second rook on 5-9. Check. King goes to 8-8, and then white pushes 8-6. This is a very good move. So most players would probably be tempted to retreat the silver general on 3-5 to 4-4 or advance to 4-6. But instead, white is here saying that pushing the 8th file pawn is more advantageous. So of course black captures the silver on 3-5, and the next move by white was really quite brilliant in forcing black to make a decision, and that was king to 6-3. So this type of move is actually very how to say, for beginners it might look a little bit risky because you're bringing the king to a higher row, but actually it's a very good move. And now since the rook can now move freely, black really needs to make a decision whether to capture that rook or keep the bishop there and make some other move. So an example would be to drop the pawn on 4-9, in which case white would check here first at 8-7, gold captures, and then perhaps force the exchange with gold to 3-3, but then black still won't do anything with the bishop and instead drop a silver on 6-8. And after a series of exchanges, maybe retreat the bishop to 4-5 with a check. So what this does is black gets to keep the bishop on the diagonal, and this is a really a beautiful bishop in that the bishop is just defending the 7-8 square and the 6-7 square, and it's also eyeing the king at 6-3. This is a fantastic bishop, and actually keeping that bishop was the better option. But instead, in response to king to 6-3, in the actual progression, black captured the rook on 4-3. This wasn't the best move, but after a check and a gold capture, white captures back. And as you can see now, there's no piece guarding the diagonal on 7-3 and 6-7, and then also the king, also the gold general is somewhat useless on black's side, and white now has ammunition to throw at black. So the next move was rook drop to 8-1. This was really kind of a desperate move on black's part, and white here has the winning move that basically ends the game. So let's see if you can figure it out. Feel free to pause the video and come back when you get the answer. So if you did figure it out, congratulations, you are a very advanced player. The correct move is bishop to 6-7. So now instead of black's bishop, now we have white's bishop taking that diagonal, which is crucial, and basically this is a threat to checkmate. The next move was king to 9-7, since there seems to be no way to defend the knight. But again, it would have been the last chance for black was to drop the silver to 7-9. And strictly, this is still not a game that black can play. I mean, rook would capture, king would capture, the silver will be dropped on 7-8, king to 6-8, and then a pawn drop on 4-7. And let's say black attacks. Still, after the gold general is captured, really black has no other outs from here. So in reality, it would have been a similar outcome, but it would have been a little bit more complicated since the actual progression really ended very abruptly. So after king to 9-7, rook captures on 8-9, and after a silver drop to defend the lance and block the 8th file, white drops the knight on 8-5 check, king to 8-6, knight captures on 7-7, king captures, and a check on 7-8 with the horse. So from here it's a fairly straightforward checkmate. So if I can show you, the king will go to 8-6, and first we'll have the pawn drop to 8-5, and rook captures, and then silver drop to 7-7. And whichever piece black chooses to capture this silver with, it's going to be a very easy checkmate. If the king goes down to 9-7, then of course the knight captures on 8-5, and that's a checkmate too. Um, so basically, with bishop to 7-8 check, uh, black resigned the game. So overall, I guess this was a very short and abrupt game, but black was attacking and seemed to have the have the advantage, but white uh, showed some remarkable endgame moves, and the bishop drop on 6-7 really decided the game. So I hope you enjoyed this. Again, if you have any suggestions or requests, please leave them in the comments and we will read them and take them into account in our next video. Also, please subscribe, like, and share to show your support, as that would motivate us to continue doing what we are doing here. Thank you for watching. See you next time.